So, what's up, everybody? This is episode 4 of Nakamas Hidden in the Ghetto podcast. Today, I guess we're reviewing Jubilee. Do all black men think the same? Jubilee's a little bit of a channel that kind of does a little bit of like, I guess, bait in certain groups or whatever, but they do like general questions. I'm Marshawn Imshan the Great, and my co-host. Let him introduce himself.
Stephanos.
So, so let's go ahead and just hop right into this video.
Hey good humans, before we start this episode, we've got a big announcement. We're going to be having a...
Are you tired of seeing this guy intro every single Jubilee video?
What about 6 Christians versus 1 atheist?
Ooh, I like that. Or how about?
I think you'd like that one.
Perfect.
Are you tired of seeing the same episode ideas over and over again? Do you have a better idea for an episode that you're dying to see?
meeting in 5 minutes.
Are you tired of always working? Do you need a vacation? Well, Jubilee is doing a sweepstakes where you can win the chance to appear in an intro on set for one
This
of our
sounds like one of those commercials you see at night when you fall asleep and the TV's still on,
You'll win a chance
Hey,
and they have those commercials.
your favorite Jubilee series.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, man. If I saw her at the workplace, if I saw her in there when I came in there on my first day, you know what? I would say this is an inclusive environment. If they got her in there, man, I think I can be here. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay. That's it's an interesting way of putting it.
you know, I think I could just show up and I could be myself. I don't think I got nothing to worry about. But so I guess it's what?
No, I'm just thinking if you came in with a do-rag, they're gonna be like, wait a minute. Okay, Deshaun, it's okay. You can wear that. Politically correct.
Man. You know, I liked how you were originally. I like how close you were to the. I was trying to actually emulate that some way with my setup.
Being so close to the camera.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was. But we're getting off into the weeds. Let's get back to this reaction here.
But it doesn't stop there. We'll fly you down to LA, pay for your stay for the weekend, and to top it off, we'll give you tickets to Disneyland. You can enter the sweepstakes by buying any item of merch from our store, starting now through.
I worry if they're using her as like a promotional piece. You know what I mean? Like she came in, she pushed out the white guy, and I don't know. You gotta be careful how they be using us sometimes.
Friday, August 27th at 11:59 Pacific time. One lucky customer will be chosen at random and contacted via email. Please see the link in the description for complete and official rules. Must be 18 or older and a U.S. resident, not eligible for Rhode Island residents. No purchase necessary.
Okay, so I'm just going. Oh shit! Okay, skip too far. Okay.
Black men that date white women, there's something different. There's nothing wrong.
Woo.
Like okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I can see that.
They kind of had to
Why's it so
start off.
choppy?
What?
I said, why is it so choppy?
I don't know. Let me see. Let me play it. Let's see. It's still choppy.
I am expected to have a big...
It's still choppy.
It is. It really is.
Okay.
Is it? It's not choppy on your end, is it?
Nah, let me go ahead and disconnect. I'm gonna edit this part out later. I'm glad I didn't promote this too much because, yeah. Although we're live streaming to YouTube, I can go back and just fix it. I think there's too many things connected to my Wi-Fi or something is going on with my RAM. Okay, I'm disconnected from Wi-Fi now. I want to reset my cache, but if I reset my cache, we're going to start all the way over. So I'm like, fuck it.
No.
But I think that's what's causing it to be that way. Okay. Let's see if this
what
makes
we got here.
3, 2, 1, go.
Nobody disagrees. Yo, yeah, I feel like it's a stereotype, and we know that stereotypes are realistic, but I mean, personal encounters. I don't feel like there's leeway. I feel like okay, that one we're keeping. Like that's what the general notion is.
I think it's just issue of positive and negative stereotypes. How people need to realize that there is.
He seemed like he got a little, like he might not be straight. Just saying.
You talking about the dude with the afro?
About to do with the afro. I think he would know better than any of these guys. The rest of them seem like they straight, but he probably has seen other penises in person.
Okay.
Anyway, he just looks like he's got a little sugar in the tank. Let's put it that way.
It's sort of it's a little bit dealing with how he's standing.
Okay.
He kind of.
Do you think that's true though?
About what?
About
The
the
dicks?
dicks. Can you just say that on YouTube like that? Or we just
We're
did,
gonna-
so it gives a damn.
We're gonna
Okay,
find
so
out.
so do you think that that's true?
About the dick size.
About the dicks.
It's like yes and no. From what I read, the African country, they did some type of like link thing where they got some averages, and apparently the African countries and the Nordic countries apparently we slanging. So I guess so, generally, populationally wise. But I think it kind of just depends on the person. I would say more often than not, I think that we are blessed. I don't know.
Well, what's
ever-
blessed? What qualifies as blessed though? Like, what's the average size?
I guess it's about 6 inches.
It's actually 5.6.
I
Remember that
was-
documentary that you sent me that time? Unhung Hero.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what they were saying on there. That it was actually 5.6 inches was actually the average size.
I can see that. I mean,
Overall.
apparently the vagina is only like 4 inches deep or something. So I don't.
Well, they say like 4, but if you're aroused, then it will stretch to a certain.
So you've been looking into pussy elasticity.
Nah, bro, I'm just saying.
That was
They have to be rather aroused to accommodate certain sizes. So,
okay.
but of course, I don't have a vagina, so I don't know. So I could be wrong.
Okay. I don't have a response for that.
Of positive and negative stereotypes, and how people need to realize that there is no change. Because what you do is you go into a box and you're expected to live up to a standard. And I feel like it's over sexualizing black men. You know, you should want to date someone more for.
Oh Christ!
And I know I've talked to people personally who will be like, "Oh, you're lucky you're black. You have a big member," and I'm like, "Well, I have other things to offer too. Like, I'm well spoken. I have a good sense of humor. I'm well traveled." Like, you go straight to like what?
Modest.
Yeah, I mean that's been my experience a lot of times, especially.
You know what?
Modest. It's just the way he's. I'm well spoken. I'm well traveled. When you see somebody doing their head like that, you know that it's. You already know what it is.
I'm dead.
Not to judge anybody. Just kind of obvious. It's funny though. It seems like a nice person.
Yeah, I don't know. You with niggas like him, I gotta be honest. You never fucking know. It's best just to feel them out because I've seen some sweet acting niggas be doing some shit on the low, be macking on hoes. Prince, but I don't know.
Prince was never gay. Prince was. He didn't even get the vibe from him. He just his sense of style just so happened to overlap with that of a woman's. Let's put it that way.
He still had a I guess a traditionally masculine way of presenting himself. His
Yep,
euphemisms and how he conducted himself was still very masculine.
very masculine.
I feel you. I guess what's interesting here is just take like a quick segue is what's up with this thing with our penis. You know what I mean? Like, why is that a thing? Why is this something that you encounter? I guess.
So what do you mean, like that stereotype? Or, what you mean?
I guess I wonder why is it so pervasive? Because I think I haven't you heard this in your life from somebody.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yes, I have. I've been told, and that goes back to I don't think. How does my audio sound?
You sound pretty good.
Sound pretty good. You don't hear echo? I hear echo on my end.
Nah.
Okay. Well, I think that it's distracting because I hear it.
You're hearing yourself, and I guess there's a delay or
No,
something.
Like yeah, it's got to be a delay because I'm hearing it out the mouth, out the mic, distorted though. But I was about to say, like, yeah, you do hear that a lot. You do. I don't know where it comes from.
It's
They do
probably
say that the
headphone
average.
bleed. Like I'm listening to you through headphones, and it's probably bleeding and catching in the mic. I didn't think about that. But sorry, cut you off.
Okay. But yeah, you do encounter that a lot. Have you ever personally had somebody to tell you that your member was, I don't know, bigger than the last or whatever?
Yeah.
So that's two black men that have experienced that. But I will say that I think a lot of times women are not very good at judging size. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, like they may think that a 6 is a 7, and they think a 7 is an 8.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because nobody can really look at it. I think it's opposite with men. We look at what we have and we think it's smaller. They look at what we have sometimes and might think that it's bigger than what it is. I don't know though. It just depends. I can only speak from experience.
I don't know. I had a weird thing happen to me in the showers once at college. Some dudes looked at my dick. I didn't let them look at my dick. They looked at it and they were like, it's gigantic. What's going on? I was like, bro, y'all are gay as fuck. Please stop doing this.
That's pretty homosexual. Did they get close to you as they were chanting this?
No, I would have beat the hell out of them. What happened is that we were in shower stalls, so cut off from each other.
Sounds like prison. Could you expound on that?
It was like each person had their own stall. So we weren't showering together. Each person had their own separate shower and their own separate stall. The only problem is that we were separated from each other, and there was a door, and it was locked and everything. But if you grabbed onto the top of the stall, you could look over the stall. So that's what they had.
So if you had the basically you were able to maintain privacy, but if you had some sort of a homosexual impulse, you could. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, they were looking over the stall, so it was by no means. And then covered in soapy subs, that ain't the time to be grabbing niggas and trying to whoop asses and shit. So it's kind of like, nigga, what the fuck, stop. So I was assaulted.
Bring attention. You said soapy subs. Never heard it said like that before.
What I'm saying is anybody who say they ready to square up in the shower with all that soap on you, they ready to lose. You gonna slip. That's it. You gonna get in your stance and slip, and then they gonna take advantage of you. So your best shot is to be like, what the fuck is going on here, while getting the soap off your body. But that was a digression. I think there is something a lot to be said about kind of how like black people are like, we're very sexualized. Like our women are very sexualized. Like most guys who date our women who aren't us they're like searching for like some black shit or something. It's weird. And I think for women who date into black men, a lot of them are dating for that thug motif or that level of aggression. Oh shit, I don't know what just fell on me, but that level of aggression, they feel like it can't be anywhere, and I think it's sort of like a weird little. It's
Fetish.
like it's like a pseudo, it's like a fetish thing going on, but it's something weird where I think that we're placed where these traditional masculine type things, and I think to take it a step further, I think that what is more symbolic of your masculinity than your dick size?
Mhm.
So I
I
don't know.
think
It's
just
just
enough black dudes. I think enough black men have been shown to have, rather larger than average, male members, and that stereotype has pervaded. A lot of these stereotypes are not completely without truth. Just like black
yeah,
people and chicken and black people and watermelon. We do like chicken and we do like watermelon. It may not have it every meal, but that
but
is somewhat a staple of, the black diet. The black diet, so to speak. Anyway, but I
okay.
think it's just something that people have noticed. I don't think it's anything derogatory. It does kind of go into the hypersexualization of black people. They kind of want things that we do and build, but they don't really want us to a degree. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I feel for the black guys with like I guess average or little or it's like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if your blackness should be attached to you don't have
they
it's
probably feel like, incomplete niggas.
I'm dead. All I gotta say to that is I mean if you incomplete man, you got fingers, you got a tongue, you got a wallet, make it work. Make it work. Put it together, man. I'm trying to play it now.
Meeting different people, that's the expectation. And I just tell them 2-inch Punisher, don't expect too much. I'm just joking, but it's I think a lot of people watch a lot of
That's
porn
a good
these days.
idea. Lower the expectations.
Like you watch a lot of porn, you see, these mandingos and 10-inch monsters, and they expect that to be reality, and a lot of times it's not. But that's the expectation that they have. So
Porn. I forgot to touch up on that.
Yeah, I kind of skipped over that one too. I think with the porn thing, it's just like I mean, a regular porn star has a big dick. Like that's kind of part of the job. You feel me?
Yeah, a regular porn star probably has 7 inches at least.
So I mean, I guess if you're
At what
looking for
point?
big,
At what point is it big?
I don't know. I guess if you're above average, then you're automatically larger than most people, or the average of people. You're larger than average. You feel me? I don't know. Women say the 8 inch thing, where if it's eight
A lot
inches, it's
of
big.
I think a lot of women probably can't even take 8 inches. That's first thing. Second thing is a lot of women don't know 8 inches. If they look at, they may see something that's 6 inches and think that that's 8 inches.
I guess my
So
question is, where the fuck are we measuring from?
I don't know what you mean. Like, okay, look, I don't want to get too far into that. I don't want to get too far into that because they about to change subject.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay, okay. Don't say anything. I'm gonna edit this. I just kicked over my fucking camera laughing. I mean, not my camera, my light. I gotta go. I gotta go grab it. Yeah, we might have to stop doing the live thing until we get a little bit more used to it. Cause
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
the kinks, man, they just be showing. But I don't know. I believe in this project. I think we could take this like super far.
We
At least
can.
get
We
like
just got to get comfortable with it.
yeah. Do I look? Let me see what I look like. I'm gonna edit. Nobody's watching right now.
Yeah, nobody's gonna see any of this. So damn good looking.
Shit. This is exactly what I get. Is it too far away, or is it? Did I move? I feel like I moved.
I think you did too.
Like the camera's been moved.
Slightly. I think I can see a little bit more over to this side. But I can't really tell. So
No, I feel you. And I just kicked that motherfucker over again, but I think I got it. I got it right where it was. Jesus, I need to redo my setup. It's like it falls. Like I have my desk in a corner, and it falls like right behind the corner, and I can't just pick up my desk and move it because I'll knock over everything. So I gotta reach under the desk and shit. Okay. We're back. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So but I'll just edit from the point that we were laughing at. But yeah, we got off into the tangle weeds there. I'll just hit play.
Takes about this group specifically, and they are hot. So black men cheat on their significant others far more than other races.
I'm just like, where is this study published? Did someone do some research where they calculated numbers over a given period of time?
The reason why I was going to be neutral.
That's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I disagree.
So I came this way because of the keyword far more. I was like, do black men cheat? In generally, like you're not apt to not cheat because of the color of your skin.
To prescribe this to race feels nefarious in a way that I feel like it was coming from a place of somebody that got cheated on by a black man. Like, it was like, yeah, black men cheat all the time. Come on, this doesn't even make sense.
Black men are attracted to big.
What do you have any thoughts on that one?
If we do, I think it's more of a cultural thing. I mean, if you listen to the music, it's not necessarily promoting monogamy. But do I think that black men, cheat more than any other race? I'm gonna say right now, I don't think so. I don't know where that comes from. So that's pretty much my.
I do think that. I think more than any other culture, I think that. I don't know. It's weird because you know in the sitcom where you have like the Joey type character, like from Friends and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. It's So there is and then Charlie Sheen for 2.5 Men. So there is some concept of a ladies' man, but I feel like among I think among black men, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like the dude who's pulling a lot of women is generally a little bit more respected.
Yeah, definitely, because it's not as easy, especially the more attractive the woman is. And the more attractive the woman is that he's able to attract, the more respect he's able to garnish.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the case.
I wouldn't say that black men cheat more often, but I'd probably definitely mention that the insecurity that causes cheating, I think that black men would suffer from that more often just because of the way our culture is set up. But I don't think that you having that insecure thing of wanting to cheat or seeing other beautiful women, I don't think that's something that's just linked to black men. I think the culture, though, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, so what do you think that is? Just really quick.
I don't know, because it's I don't know, but I think for a lot of I don't know. It's just I guess it's just such a respect thing or something. I think in the black community, you can generally be perceived to have a lot of social currency or have a lot of respect, with quotation marks on it. If you fight well or can pull women really well.
If you have a lot of money, a name brand, the right shoes, the right clothes, yeah.
It's definitely a part of the aesthetic, and I think that definitely. I think it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of immaturity and insecurity. I guess it's you want to prove that you can pull more than any other guy around you, and then in some way that makes you a better person or a better guy than that guy or something. It's a little weird now that we really dissect it a little bit. But I will say that
Well,
what.
well, if you look at something like let's say you put two people in a box, and the only thing they have to prove themselves is, I don't know. They let's say you. Okay, so basically, because of the position that a lot of black people find themselves in, they have to go after things like that. They don't have a way to really come up. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a way to really make anything of themselves. So they turn to things like, oh, I can get women, or I got the newest shoes. They don't have anything to aspire to. Like I have a business, or I have $1 million in a home, or I'm investing in this, I'm investing in that. They have a lot of these low hanging fruits, a lot of these things that anybody can do. Anybody can go get some Jordans. Anybody can go pull women. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Mm,
environment that they're in. They don't have
yeah,
much they can aspire to and realistically achieve. So that which they can achieve, you know what I'm saying? They go after it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Maybe I didn't articulate that properly, but I think that it has a lot to do with that.
I think that speaks to a lot of this thing of black men specifically, but I think black people in general, we aren't very wanted, and black men aren't very wanted in most scenarios. You know what I mean? Like just like when you was talking about the whole thing about like the about the like not wanting a father in the house because you can't collect benefits and shit like that. I think you run
Mm.
into a lot of situations where it's like I think black men are so sexualized that at least in that fucking that spectrum, that sphere, I guess, of women, you know what I mean? It does make you feel wanted in a way that like a job or most shit won't make you feel wanted. Like even if you're good at sports, you're good at sports. The understanding that if you weren't good at the sport, you wouldn't be wanted at all.
Mm.
So I don't know, but I get exactly what you're saying. Like I don't know, it's weird. It's something to recognize for sure. Hello.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Oh, I was trying to make sure you had some like if you had any like closing thoughts.
Oh no, no.
Is it do we
Oh,
agree with that statement, or do I personally
Black men like big
There's
butts.
nothing biologically innate to like black men to to like ass.
I think it ties into hip hop and the whole strip club scene right now. We are so far gone from like the natural aesthetics of just a natural person that right now it's all about who has the baddest ass. Who ass is 25 pounds with 2 pound legs. You know what I mean? Like that's pop. And I personally don't get it. I mean, it looks unnatural to me, like, but I mean, a nice ass is just a nice ass. Bro, black people are
I mean, I think all men are attracted to whatever they would aspire to be a big butt.
Yeah, you see a lot of dudes that'll be like, I'm down as long as her ass is fat. And I don't fool with that. I don't fool
Yeah.
with that.
I don't know. I'm a boob guy, so I'm not even with this.
I'm an ass man, definitely. You can have your chest can be flat. You know what I'm saying? It could be flat like this right here. It could be that flat. I don't care.
See, my logic is that a big butt is attainable with the exercise and eating good. Bigger breasts, you can get firmer, more like tight breasts, or I don't know how to describe it through working out, but you really can't like increase their size for real, for real.
Mm.
So that's what kind of we're getting off into the weeds. We can just do an episode about butts versus asses.
funny. And if you ever try and roast them, they will roast your ass so hard that you'll have no roast to rebuttal.
I don't know how to adjust that.
I get what he's saying. I think black people as a collective are funny. If you go to Black Twitter, if you go to Black Instagram, Black Facebook, like you're going to laugh. So I think that in that aspect, that's why like that statement has so much truth in it because you just it's like
So I guess it's like the question is like black people as a whole, are they funny, or is like any black person gonna knock your ass off because he's super funny? Like I think that's just the difference. Black people as a whole, like yeah, they got jokes, you know, it goes back and forth.
I disagree.
I think that any
I
black
think a lot of people base their stereotypes of black people off the top black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Off the people that they see on the TV. Okay, they see Kevin Hart, all black people funny. They see LeBron James, all black people can play basketball. Every black person can't play no basketball. Every nigga ain't funny. It's just the top. It's just they used to see it. A lot of these people don't have any real exposure to a nigga. All right, and so they see these black people on TVs, or they see all this other stuff, and they think that we all like that because they don't actually see and encounter black people in real life. We're so much more just whatever the stereotype is. That's what you do when you don't have exposure to somebody. What else are you gonna what other frame of reference are you gonna have but TV?
Yeah. Also, I would definitely say that due to the level of like psychological and economic segregation, black people have different ways of conducting themselves than like default society. And I think with that, it's like I think comedy really hits when it's unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that a lot of people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to be a funny black guy around a whole bunch of black guys, you're funny as fuck. But to be a funny black guy around some white people, you just gotta be black and da. So it's like it talks a little bit about the the minstrel ishness of our people, like how we've been used as like minstrels for like kind of people's laughter or entertainment. Like niggas, I think more than anything right now, I think niggas we're dealing with our entertainment. Like we are generally pushed out into like we entertain a people in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Or like our threateningness that we'll kill you or something. So it's very weird. And I think especially with me, I use comedy to kind of disarm people when they see me and they have these certain, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I just try and crack a smile, you know. I think a lot of black people, it goes back to what I was saying before. I can imagine in my head, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're in a situation where there's a lot of poverty. You don't really have a way to, you know, to come up or whatever. You find yourself making fun of people who are less fortunate because it makes you, you know, makes you feel more powerful. It makes you feel like you're, you know, at a better place than you're in. You know what I'm saying? So you crack jokes about people. You know that you spent time in Birmingham City School. You know how black folks is. You ain't got the newest Jordans or the newest Forces. You know what I'm saying, we all poor niggas in the hood, but you making fun of me because I can't afford $200 worth of damn shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's nah.
So we crack jokes a lot. We talk a lot. We entertain ourselves a lot. I mean, necessarily funny. I guess we are sometimes.
Yeah. But also it goes back to like kind of like, you know how all the really great comedians have kind of had like a sad or bad life at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And comedy is how they dealt with it. I think that for black people, that's how we, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we kind of cope with the conditions we often find ourselves in. So you become a little bit more comedic, you know what I mean? Because you got to laugh to, you know, to not go crazy. You feel me?
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Reminds me of the Joker movie.
Oh, dude.
The N-word should stop being used by all races. 3, 2, 1, go.
I really want to hear their thoughts on this one.
I just think the N-word, when you look at the root of the word,
of course, this
use it to describe other black people.
Of course, this nigga. Of course. That's all I'm going to say about him. But of course,
people when accepting their supposed oppression. I think when I think about that,
There's that word again.
you can do anything to
What word?
Oppression.
erase the history and the blood that's been shed on that word. There are so many people who the last thing they heard was the N word as they were being murdered. So when I think about that, yes, I think the words should stop being used.
Personally, me, I feel like it kind of starts with us. The fact
He
that
looks
we
like a kid, a shy kid that's been told to give a speech or something.
I'm
lets other
dead.
people feel like they have a pass or that it's okay because my favorite rapper said it or I heard it here or you guys say it all the time. How come I can't say it? But at the end of the day, it's black and that's it. You can't really own a word. I think, we can own it in the sense where it's a black cultural thing, but the idea where we kind of make it out to where we say like, oh, other people can't say it. I think that's more of like a insecurity within the black culture of not being able to hold power because historically it's like historically black people didn't have as much power, so we're trying to hold on to literally
shit,
a word
now I'm dark as
that
hell.
only has meaning because we add meaning to
Okay,
it.
let me not do that.
Respectfully, I ain't trying to hear that, right? Like, I feel like the only reason it's policed so much, I feel like the only reason we don't have like this debate or this debacle over whether we can use it or not is because we're black people. And I'm not one of those people that think everything is racist and all that, but in this specific instance, right? Several instances, women in many instances have reclaimed the word bitch to be a term of endearment. There are in the 90s there was heavier women reclaimed the word fat, obviously respelling and things like that. But I feel like in those instances nobody bats an eye. Why is that understood? But with this, it's so confusing. Like, oh, I don't know if like when there are boundaries set. That word boundaries that I think we have respectfully and rightfully set up for ourselves. So I don't want to. I'm not trying to hear the like. If we use it, why can't it? We do that all the time with a bunch of different things, and I don't think this should be one of the areas where we're like, yeah, let everybody. I'm not.
Well, I think it goes back to what you're saying boundaries because when you break down to inner communities where blacks and Asians, blacks and whites in hip hop culture where there's like it's five group of friends and their black friends don't care. They're like, say it. Like that happens. So it's like we're having this broad conversation, and I know all of us aren't trying to be the spokespeople for black people, right? But it's like it's such a convoluted I guess topic where it's like the expectations aren't clear to people depending where you are. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, like it's very unclear. That's what I think. I'm not arguing whether or not it's okay to say it or whether white people say it. I'm just saying if we don't want white people to say it, I think it needs to be very clear. And I think even in fact in this new age of our culture, I think we're seeing more people saying we don't want white people to say it.
Homophobia.
What's your thoughts on that one?
It's one of those things. If we don't want other people to say it, we probably don't need to be saying it ourselves. Because here's the thing: the reason that we don't want other people to say it is because of what it represents, where it comes from. I don't understand why we think it's okay for us to say it ourselves if we don't want other people to say it. You know
I think it, yeah, but I'll give you two.
A lot of us say it out of habit.
Yeah, it's very much into African American vernacular English at this point to end a sentence with it, or it's like our guy or our dude. Like, what you doing, guy? What's up, dude? How you dudes doing? But God, I wish my lighting was for this because I got some haymakers for this one. So, I'll give you two examples, right? Now, you and your siblings will go and say certain things to each other, and shit's cool. Shit might be heated, or it's not even heated. You know what I mean? Like you and your siblings, you might have little stupid nicknames for each other, or just say shit to each other. Now, if somebody else were to take any of those things and just say it to your sibling, like whatever you call your sister, oh, nappy head, or whatever the fuck. If a nigga said that to her, you're like, what the fuck, bro? I'm talking. What the fuck why the fuck you saying it to my sister? Number two example is it's just like, it's real big. These conservative motherfuckers be like stolen valor. Don't say you was in the military if you weren't in the military. Don't call yourself a soldier if you aren't a soldier. With black people, there's because of our shared condition and shared humiliation of that word nigger. It's kind of like I watched this movie once, and there was this girl. Her name, she went by like Fat Susan or Fat Becky, and she called herself Fat Becky just so people around her back, what you gonna say now? What you got to say about me now? So I think that nigga reclamation is where that comes from. You ain't got, you know what? We're gonna since you ain't gonna, it ain't, how the elephant in the room, you don't fucking, it's there, but you don't notice it. Well, they never gave us that elephant in the room. As soon as you walk in that building, you that nigga. You that nigger.
Well, here's the thing. See, here's the thing. And those examples, those are I could understand that if nigga was something that we gave ourselves. When we came here on them boats, did we call ourselves nigga?
No.
We proud to be called nigga. So why we call ourselves niggas? It's different. It's different.
I mean,
different because it didn't originate with us.
Yeah, I agree.
So why would you use that as a term of endearment?
I get what you're saying. My thing
that didn't originate
is,
with us. So we're gonna take something that started with them. Now we don't want them to say it, but we gonna say it about ourselves. You ain't gotta call me a dumbass because I'm gonna call myself a dumbass. Don't call me a dumbass. I'm gonna call myself a dumbass. You see how that doesn't make any sense?
I feel your side, and really, I'm not even arguing against your side because I'm not too big on nigga this, nigga that, nigga. But I think that you get to a certain point where there's, we're gonna get demonetized like a bitch.
I don't give a damn.
Nigger is what they were getting at. Negro is how they classified us. Nigga is what we call each other. Now, these might sound like minute differences. Just like with the simple understanding of like, how like within African American vernacular English, we have a certain way to set people up to say certain things. That's kind of like our way of communicating. You know what I mean?
What did it originate?
What?
Would there be nigga without nigger?
I guess my question is, would there be any word before any other word? Like, I'm not discounting the history. What I'm doing is like, I'm saying that, like, although there is a negative history there, that's our negative history. We own that. Like, and not like we own it, like it's our fucking property, but we own that. Because it's what?
So somebody starts calling all black people dumbasses. Are we gonna own that one too? Are we gonna start defining ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Which one are we gonna do?
I guess we're gonna
own dumbass. I'm gonna call you dumbass. We're gonna own that. No. Certain things you shouldn't own. Certain things you need to rebuke. Certain things you need to deny.
I think with the okay, so we're getting into two arguments. Is it all right for black people to say it? Number one, and is it all right for anybody to say it? Now, I believe I operate under it's all right for black people to say it, but nobody else to say it because we have a shared understanding. We have a shared experience. Now, is it all right for us to say it? Period. We're gonna have to talk about that. But let's be honest. One argument deals with how it how it is woven into our culture, and another one deals in why it's woven into our culture. Now,
it's a parasite. It's a parasite.
I believe in the concept of word reclamation to turn something that is something so bad into something that's positive, something that used to kill your spirit, and now it makes you feel like you are a part of something greater than yourself. So that's how I generally look at it. Now, I'm not going to ever be a fan of nigga this because I do understand there is a history there. So I'm not on the side of we all should just be saying nigga to everything, but it's definitely something to be said about word reclamation and just saying that this is part of our understanding. You're not gonna go around Hispanics and start fucking whatever the fuck they call themselves or whatever the fuck, however the fuck they do things, just saying, "Hey, I'm a part of that now." You're not gonna do this with any other group. You know what I mean?
So give me a racial slur from Mexicans.
I am not Hispanic.
So
But
what? So like
anything,
wetback or something?
anything. See, this is one of these old white supremacy tricks. Is
Mm.
a white man can come up to a Mexican man and call him an hombre and be meaning something racist. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you get into like
But
weird
guess what?
territory there.
But guess
Go ahead.
what? That word originated with them. Nigga didn't originate with us.
Mhm.
So they're taking something that means completely benign and making it derogatory. We're doing the opposite. We're taking something derogatory and trying to make it benign and something that unites us. How about just not saying the word? How about controlling what you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I say nigga, but I'm not finna sit here and defend it.
Mhm.
You know?
I guess what I'm asking you is answer the first part of the argument is should other people say it if we say it? And then number two is
No, I don't think other people should say it, and I don't think we should say it. And if you really just think about it, we probably should not say it.
all I'm gonna say is if a white guy calls you a nigger, how is that conversation gonna go down?
I just said I don't want nobody saying it.
So I ain't your nigger. I don't,
I ain't your nigga. Don't call me nigga.
I don't know what we're talking about here. But I think it is multifaceted, and I do believe in the concept of word reclamation. I think, and plus, let's be honest here, is there's many of words that fucking almost like if you change a letter, they become a different word or whatever the fuck. There's many root words and shit. So I do very much concede the attribution of nigga being something different than nigger, even though that is probably just created from that southern thing of turning ers into ahs. So, but I can very much see the connotative differences. Like if I said, what's up, my nigga, or what's up, nigga. I don't know. That sounds very weird, but there's a difference in saying what's up, nigger. You feel me? And maybe it's my enunciation, but
Listen here, nigga, boy, nigga.
it hits different. And if words, jobs are to convey feeling and possibly put an image in your head, a nigga versus a nigger to a lot of people is different. But I do agree with you on many levels that we probably should stop saying it. But I'm not going to totally discount the idea of word reclamation. Also, white people, good God, maybe we could talk to other groups, but y'all definitely have no business saying it. Come on, man, come on. It's like throwing salt in the wound. Why the fuck are you saying it? You feel me?
Yeah.
But that's a
Okay.
touchy one for me.
Let's carry on.
I'm not your nigga.
Big issue in the black community. 3, 2, 1. Go.
Now I want to see what he has to say about the dude in a pineapple tropical shirt.
A lot of us black men, we will rather be friends with the homie that, probably has a rape attached to his name than the homie that's part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I think that that's something that, we got to work on as people, because my thing is, I don't understand the whole big phobia of, okay, what he decides to do in his free time or behind closed doors, why does that bother you so much? Why does that affect you? Like, why do you feel like it's such like the scum of the earth?
And I also think it comes from religion because I don't want to get too controversial with that, but people are very religious, especially in the black community. Christians and when you talk about the Bible, they say homosexuality is a sin. So a lot of people have that ingrained in their mind. This is absolutely not right. And for a lot of people too, when they see a man, they want to see a manly man, and they associate that with being straight.
Heterosexual men have a fear that homosexual men will treat them how they treat women, if that makes sense. and so they're afraid of that treatment. And I'm on somewhat agree because I'm rather torn. I think I've lived a life where I'm around very open-minded, inclusive people. So I'm not sure how big of an issue it is in the community, but I know that in the Black church sphere, homosexuality is often made out to be the worst thing that you can be. There's almost nothing worse than being gay. And I think that's also where some of the homophobia comes from. We like to ignore all the other sins, all the other things that the Bible outlines that are not, holy, and then we just take homosexuality and we make it the worst. Granted, the Bible says it's an
Pause it
abomination.
right there.
The Bible says any sin will send you to hell. So
You can't be pro-black and date a white person.
Okay, it took me a second.
What he said. I need to see your face, man. Pull yourself up on the screen too.
Okay, I was gonna let you kind of do your thing there.
No. What he said is absolutely true. Because black people in the Bible, you're not supposed to fornicate or commit adultery, and you're not supposed to have homosexual relations. But you see so many black people out here fornicating, which is having sex without marriage. But they condemn people who are gay. And both of them are looked at as the same thing. They're looked at with the same severity. So there is a hypocrisy in the black church when it comes down to that. Because you're not supposed to do either one. God doesn't see each one of those as worse than the other. But we condemn gay people. Not everybody. I'm just saying that there's a certain subset of church going black. Well, I won't exactly say. I know that that's the popular buzzword to say homophobe. I don't think anybody's gay. I mean, afraid of somebody who is gay. I don't know why they would be afraid. I think they need to.
Why do you always do the root word semantics? Is that the definition of homophobe?
Phobia is a Greek word which means fear.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that that's the definition of this fucking word.
Why are you using that word then? What does homophobia mean?
A person with a dislike or prejudice against gay people.
Why not just say that?
Well, because
that gives a completely different connotation.
Well, but there's many of situations where that phobe thing is used to illustrate that something doesn't like get along with something else or crosses this certain barrier. So come on now.
It's disingenuous as hell. But I do think that if you're out there committing adultery, if you're out there fornicating, it's just as bad as somebody who's gay. Right? They're supposed to be the same thing. They're both supposed to be sins.
Yeah.
So that's he was right.
I think
Absolutely.
I don't know why so many black men in particular have a problem with homophobia or have a problem with gay people. And there seems to be this gigantic conspiracy about like the world and media are trying to turn people gay. And it's so repugnant and kind of disgusting that any person who could be a member of our group, we win gold medals in oppression and annihilation and discrimination, cannot see the like the irony and like you see like Lil Nas X, which he is an extreme. I will admit that he is an extreme, but it's like your first reaction to seeing some like representation, you know what I mean, shouldn't be like, oh God, you know what I mean? Like I could see if we had like if every movie star and like half of the rappers were gay, I'd be like, what's going on here? There seems, but we never actually see this whole like great tide of anything. It just seems to be kind of like representation, like, and this person makes good music, so they happen to be gay.
No. Lil Nas X is extreme. It's like you may be gay, but you don't see a lot of straight people doing all that crap. Anyway, that's a completely different thing. But as far as that echo is distracting the hell out of me. That is distracting me. But I think that I don't think that I don't think people are homophobic. They just I don't know. I don't think that. I think black people are very religious. A lot of times we'll vote liberal, but we're actually very conservative. I think there is something to say about the black family. I think the black family is strongest when it's an actual nuclear family, male, female, making children. I'm saying that has proved to be when we were doing that, we were at our strongest. But a lot of people say, well, homosexuality has ruined that to a degree. Fornication and adultery has too. Having sex outside of marriage, having sex outside of wedlock, having all these children not taken care of.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a greater problem than homosexuality personally.
it's I'll put it to you like this. I mean, all of these different domestic abuse reports and all of this shit. I don't think it's coming from the homosexuals. I don't think the homosexuals are the
Well,
threat.
you know what? To be fair, the most violent couples are lesbian couples.
Really?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Women are actually just as likely to initiate domestic violence as men. That's just not physically as strong.
Okay, well, here's my thing. Right? And I'm not even getting into like who's most likely to beat who or whatever the fuck. I mean, purely that statistics is just based on like if you think about it, if you took like a population or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? There's more straight people than gay people, so if we looked on numbers versus likelihood, I think that whatever. But
Well, I mean, but there's how many lesbians would you say is as compared to just straight?
I don't know. I couldn't even get close on that. Maybe like
So
1 in 5, 1 in
they
8,
considered the most violent? Why are statistics showing them as being the most violent?
1 in 3.
It's
1 in
interesting.
2.
It's interesting. Well, I have to put a link to that. I'll have to put a link to that statistic in the description so that people can see.
I'll put a link to what I was referring to also, but that still doesn't kind of negate the issue here. Is really what I was getting at here is that we take these things as to be the threat to our community, but basically what you were saying that there are greater threats to our community. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I don't know. This whole thing has always been weird, but black people in the LGBT community, I don't know. They get along. The choir person in church and that gay dude at school, you don't have any problems with. That dyke girl who's trying to steal your girlfriend. You don't have any problems with them. But it's definitely a lot to be said that generally we have some weird thoughts or something. I don't really know.
Generally, we ain't with that gay shit. Basically, yeah. Generally speaking, yeah.
I think. Oh, sorry.
It's no different from people that lie. It's no different from people who are out here fornicating. It is all seen the same. It is all supposed to be sexual sin. How many of us out here fornicating? Well, as opposed to how many of us out here gay? How many gay people do you know? One gay person. 0.
I mean, I've met a gay person. I've been friends with them. I'm just not currently friends with them. I didn't,
Oh, were they black?
I met a few gay black people. But I've met a few gay.
How many black people have you met that are having sex and not married?
All of them.
How many black people have you met that have children out of wedlock?
Like 50-50.
50-50. That's still more than you meet that are gay. I guess you could say some still in the closet, whatever the case is. But yeah, we do have there's a certain amount of hypocrisy there, um, when it comes down to that. And I guess because gay is seen as so strange or so weird.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not normal. And I think within
yeah,
any group, something that is a minority or something that's considered to be different than the norm will always be persecuted.
yeah.
But it is interesting
Do
that
you
on
think that
often,
homosexuality? Do you think that homosexuality is normal? You think it's natural? Think it's genetic?
I mean, I've seen it in animals and shit, so I would assume that I don't know. I can't explain why one day I woke up and thought that I would like to be with a woman. So I don't expect anybody else to explain to me why they woke up and decided whoever the fuck they want to be with in that day or in that year or whatever fucking time period they want to do it. I don't understand it. You know, because some guys they like women who look this way, and then I see the women and I be like, hell no. So I can't understand them. I treat them the same way. You know, I don't think your perspective is invalid. It's just not where I'm coming from.
Interesting. But
What
what
do
the
you?
guy with the afro said was he was absolutely right. Absolutely right.
I feel you. I kind of forgot what he said. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, basically, he was just saying that you know we look at gay people as the worst thing in the world, but we got people in the church doing kinds of other sexual things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of predators in church and shit. There's a lot of, you know what I mean.
Priest, and yeah, yeah.
So
Catholic Church has a really big problem with that. It's because they don't allow them to marry.
yeah. And then even inside of the black church and shit, there be weird shit going on. If you ask any black church kid who went to church during their childhood, they really started dissecting some shit. You'd be like, what the fuck was going on there and shit. So it's weird. People be, deacons be
But
preying on women and
to be fair, that happens everywhere though.
yeah,
Men
any
in
group.
power will try and like you were saying, as far as rape and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. You probably. I mean, I wouldn't, but I can't really speak on that though. What he said as far as like a lot of black people would be rather associated with somebody who's gay as opposed. I mean, they would rather be associated with somebody who is raped or who has that attached to him as opposed to somebody who's gay. You know what I'm saying?
I can totally see what he's talking about because legit, we need to do an episode on like consent with black people. Because I feel like a lot of these stories you be hearing with people in certain lenses is kind of rapey, dude. It's kind of rapey. So I don't know, but yeah, I can see his logic. I don't know if we would ever, discount the convicted rapist for the gay dude, but yeah, I can totally get his. I don't know. I see both sides of it.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting point though. Interesting points that they brought up.
Yeah, yeah. We kind of went on a long tangent on that one, but
Yeah,
I
we
feel like that
did.
was
We're running an hour now.
we'll, we'll speed through the rest.
3, 2, 1, go.
I think really the issue with this statement is for me, if you are a stand-up person and you stand up on your morals and your character, it doesn't matter who you date. And I think a lot of the issue is a lot of people get into, interracial relationships or they
I'm
date white people and they
I'm
forget.
I'm gonna get canceled on. I'm not even gonna say anything after this one. You gotta handle this one. I'm gonna get canceled.
Who they are.
No, no, no. I want to hear it.
It doesn't matter if you're dating a black person, a white person, because you can date a white woman and a black woman and still not even be for the cause. So I really think it's up to the person if they stand on their morals or not.
I agree to a certain extent, but personally, me, I feel like if you're pro-black, you're
I just want to have a quick segment that this one guy is like thugged out like he don't say like he don't look like it, but when he talk, man, he like from like the Bronx or some shit, man. He'll stab a guy like
Do you agree with what he said?
ah no.
So you think that if you date a white person that you're not for the cause, you're not down for black people?
You know, I'm just a
That
guy
is
out here trying to
fucking
build a
ridiculous.
I am
That
trying
is
to build a platform
that
here,
is
sir.
ridiculous. That is
Sir.
ridiculous. Are you white phobic? Are you Caucasian phobic? You're canceled and you're dismissed. Ain't nothing wrong with a black person dating a white woman. Ain't nothing wrong with a black woman dating a white man.
Okay. So to the beautiful black women who may tune into this podcast at some point, just hit my line because he ain't fucking with you. Okay,
That ain't what I said. That ain't what I said. So that's what we do. That's what we do. Wait a minute. That's what we do. We say, so you'll take the fact that I said ain't nothing wrong with dating a white woman and say that I hate black women. Now I know that you're not saying that, but a lot of people would do that. They'll equate that. No, a woman is a woman. I don't understand. If you condone two men being together, but you don't want to condone a man and a woman being together of a different race. It's a woman.
Sir.
And anybody you sleep with gonna be black anyway. One drop rule still in effect. I need to grow. I need to grow up.
Sir.
Yeah, man, that's bullshit. You can
trying
be as
to-
full of as you want to be and date you a little snow bunny. She can be hopping around your black kingdom. I don't want to
Isn't
hear
it kind
that
of weird?
foolishness.
I think Frederick Douglass married a white woman. I think a few of them did. I think a few of our revolutionaries did marry white women. I can't think of another one, but Frederick Douglass is a famous one. But I'm trying to remember.
I look black.
What?
Do I look black?
Do you look black?
Do I look black? I look like
extremely
a southern nigger. Well, guess what?
I want to put it.
Well, guess what?
What's up?
You know I'm not full black.
Yes, I'm aware of it. I don't
you think that you're full black?
Who knows?
Anyway, the point is that human is human. Oh my
God. The family reunions be a little sparse on my end, so I don't even know, man. Who knows?
I wish I could say the same. But it's no. If you find you a white woman that is down for your program, hop on that thing.
Okay, here's my thoughts on it.
Here we go, people.
And I want to apologize. I wasn't trying to cut you off on it, but since you're trying to damage the platform that we're both trying to build, I'll put it to you like this. I think that there comes understanding, right? And I do not believe that a woman of European descent can understand that, because in their society, they're the default, they're the norm. And although they, white women suffer their own oppression, I do agree it's just a different set of oppression that we have to deal with that starts from our blackness. And I think with a lot of things, a white woman is just not going to understand, why we walking down the street like this, why you doing this, why you doing that. And to that, they're not going to understand that, at your workplace, you might be getting mistreated. Because one of the first questions we ask somebody in a story as African-American people is, what were they raised? Because we are so used to not being treated as a human being.
Do you think that a black woman understand why you get a boner at 3 o'clock or at 6 o'clock in the morning when you first wake up?
If she's a urologist.
If she's a man. No, she's not going to understand everything concerning your life. That she doesn't have to understand every damn thing. Come on now. She doesn't have to understand. If she has a certain level of empathy, fine, I'm cool with that. But she is not going to understand. You're not going to find any woman that's going to understand everything. Maybe she don't understand the black condition. If she was born in South Africa, if she was born in Africa, she's not going to understand what it's like to grow up as a black person in America. Is she now disqualified?
Yes.
That's a cop out. That's a cop out. That's a cop out for white phobia. White phobic.
It would disqualify her.
Cop out. It's a cop out. It ain't because it's not because she doesn't understand. Maybe for some people it is. It's because you don't want to be judged by your own people for being with a white woman.
I think she won't understand, number one, and let me finish my case here. I think she cannot understand because of how deeply ingrained, you know what I mean? It's basically in America, there's only two groups. There's the black people and there's the white people. Now there are distinct races, but generally that's how America works. There's the privileged and those who are underprivileged. And we can codify it so easily as white as black because literally it has been an organized goal for our government and our country for years to deprive black people of wealth and knowledge. Um so
Okay,
there's a
not
different
for
there's
that.
a
The point is that
states had laws that basically criminalize reading. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. You know what I
and
mean?
yet when you grew up in Birmingham city schools, they taught you how to read. Now it may not have been as good as Timothy over in Hoover, but you were taught how to read.
Let
The
me ask
point
you this.
is that
Let me ask you this, right? How many generations of your family you know?
4 generations. I knew my great grandmother.
You knew 4 generations, right?
My great grandmother.
Do you think you're getting the same level of education or the same level of like instillment and learning from the person who they got 4 generations of people who've been reading versus you generation one?
Do I
Do you
think that
think
I had the same level?
do you think that the emotional dynamic in your house would be the same?
If what?
If you know you go to your daddy, he can read. You go to your granddaddy, he can read. You go to your great granddaddy, he can read. You can reach
Do I
all of these
think
different
do I think that
versus you the only nigga in your family who ever been able to read.
do I think that the dynamic would be different in that circumstance?
Yes.
Sure. Because I'm the
Okay.
only nigga that can read.
Let's nail a hammer into that because there's a bit of a cyclical thing that happens with shit like that, which is one of the reasons why black people still aren't good swimmers or swimming
I'm an
isn't that
excellent swimmer. I'm an excellent swimmer.
I'm talking about on average, okay? Black people are more likely to drown in pools, okay? One of the reasons for that is because for a very long time they didn't have like they didn't invest in like black communities, so they didn't build city pools. And then when black people tried to go into pools, they had a problem with it. There's this very famous picture of these kids in a pool and a white I think it's like a white hotel employee. He pours acid in the pool. He poured acid in the pool.
Okay. The question was, and I think we need to stay on topic. The question
okay.
is it okay for a black person to date a black man to date a white woman?
No, because one,
Why not?
she just will not understand your perspective and how you're perceiving the world. Because so when we enter a room, our blackness enters the room before our personality ever does, and that's
A
a
lot of times.
fundamental different thing. Number two,
Okay, a lot of women.
Okay,
go ahead.
Number two is it's a shifting power dynamic. You don't want to ever be you if you date somebody, you shouldn't date people who could have such a different level of power in society as you.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. That may
Also,
be a valid point.
number three is just you know, I think that you want to have. I think you know. The
Okay,
most
well, let me
pro-black
say this.
thing you can do is raise a black, wholesome nuclear family. That's all I'm saying. That's the most pro-black thing you can do. You have created.
Say, wait a minute.
You have increased our community in a positive way.
What defines that?
What?
A wholesome black household. What defines that?
Well, I wasn't saying wholesome. I kind of got into my.
But that's what you said. But that's what you said. Okay. So the thing is,
there
if you have a child,
raising them,
if you have a child,
you
if
know,
you have a child with a white woman, that child is black.
yes,
doesn't matter. But guess what? They're still human. Here's the thing. You can say that she can't understand your struggle, but there are a lot of people that walk into the room before they're human, they're a female. Does that mean that they shouldn't date men because men can understand what it's like to be a woman, to be afraid of being raped and all this other stuff? No, it's not what that means. There are certain things that are unique to men and women. There are certain things that are unique to black people and are unique to white people. That does not mean that you cannot be with a white woman or that there's anything wrong with you for being with a white woman.
Okay. All I'm saying is
the only thing that would be wrong with it is societal or cultural. Okay, but that's subjective. There's nothing biologically wrong. or mentally wrong with you for being with a white woman?
But you couldn't find the same thing with, whatever.
A lot of okay, so just like with Donald Glover, right? He's with a white woman. Now, depending on where you at, a lot of black chicks ain't even checking for you. You don't fit the thug motif, and Donald Glover didn't fit it. So now that he with a white woman, it's a problem. The black chicks didn't want him. Quisha didn't want him, so he went over there and found a Katie, and Katie doing him good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nobody gonna say there's nothing wrong with it. If he can be out there,
Katie's granddad and his
if he
daddy
can
would
be out
probably
there,
hang him up.
if he
Probably
can
lick
be
his
out there,
ass.
okay, sure. If he can be out there,
And she loved her granddaddy.
if he could be out there, she's behind and twerking on the devil and getting pregnant, then he can date a white woman. Okay, we can't say one is okay and the other one is heresy. That's hypocrisy. That's ridiculous. You can't help who you love, whether it's man, woman, white, red, black, yellow. Can't help who you love. So let's keep the same energy. Let's stay consistent. Let's stay consistent.
Listen, Pastor Stephen. Stephen. Let's ask.
I prefer to think of myself as a visionary.
Let's get real into
Let's
this.
move on.
Let's
finish
the
video.
Because I offered you a chance for us to move on, and you didn't want to take that chance. So no. So, who would you prefer your daughter to marry? Say she love them the same. She feels good about both of them. She comes to you, Dad. There's Billy Bob. He make $50,000 a K, and she knows she loves him, and she loves her. And then there's one of us.
Here's the
Tyrone.
thing. Here's the thing.
Who would you prefer?
Okay. Here's the thing. Now this is gonna sound revolutionary. You may need to turn the speakers up to make sure that you hear me. But I'm not gonna base it on what race the guy is. I'm gonna base it on his character.
They have the same character.
Then I don't care. If the relationship will flourish either way, it's up to her. I'm gonna leave that decision to her. There's no need for me to step in. She's a grown woman. You can take your preference. I don't care if he's black or white. As long as he ain't some alien or some creature, as long as he's a human and the character is the same and y'all's relationship is gonna flourish, I'm completely fine with it. Now, do I need to repeat that? Because maybe that didn't, if I'm okay with her being with another woman, then I'm gonna be okay with her being with a white man.
I think
let's keep the same energy. You can't help who you love, right? All right then. So we can,
I think when you really get into the dynamics of things, and that we have been heavily objectified, like on a level that I think no other group has been.
I would love for a beautiful woman to objectify me. Please. Tell me I look good. Whistle at me. You know what I'm saying? I like that when that happens. I like when people look at me. I'm like, yeah. I like the way I look good.
She gonna yell at you, I want your knicker, dick.
Yeah.
You gonna be yelling
Come
back.
take it. Come take it. Come take it. Take me.
So you're all right. You're all right with being fetishized. Because I think where we get split up is that I can't, honestly, for what you see in society, you cannot see, you will generally see that, they're being fetishized in a certain way. He raps, he plays football, so.
Okay, well, I don't know if it's that or if it's the traits that they see that they consider masculine. I don't know if it's so much the race, but it goes back to, like I said before, it's not about the race. It's about, I want somebody to want me for me. And I sure as hell want them to not want me because I'm black.
But you would want them to want you because you're black.
No, I want them to want me for me, not because I'm black. It's the same thing I said for my daughter.
Okay, let me ask you this: would you let your daughter marry the son? And you know a little bit about this family. Let's say y'all some Hatfield and McCoys. Well, his whole
Don't
family
don't don't do
has been some
don't do the
clans.
whole Donald Trump thing where do you want your daughter to marry Donald Trump's daughter or son or whatever the case is? I can say all that. If they're notorious
Would you?
racist, maybe that's not the best decision to make. Kaylee or whatever my child's name would be.
I hope Kaylee's your white daughter you have with your wife, your white wife,
Oh,
apparently.
okay.
But I feel as though we've gotten too deep in this. We can do a whole episode where we both present our thoughts on this. I think that'd be amazing. Also, we'd probably get canceled, so maybe that can be episode like 15. I'm trying not to divide an audience before we even get there, man.
Well, we're gonna have people that are gonna agree with you, and most of them will agree with me. But the thing is that
most of them.
I'll just play.
He hates gay people.
No, I hate gay people. I don't hate white people though. I did that much.
I don't hate white people.
I don't hate gay people either.
There's no point.
There's no point in hating gay people because gay people are people. Now I'm gonna say this. This is where my prejudice is gonna come in, and this is for this. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. We start seeing lizard people. That's when my prejudice is gonna come up. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want my child with no lizard person. Now I'm saying that in a joking way, but if you know, you know. Put it that way. As long as the one she with got good character and is a human. If you know, you know. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I really love doing this podcast with you. I'll definitely say that. That's you know how to close your arguments really well, man.
Morals or not.
I agree to a certain extent, but personally, me, I feel like if you're pro-black, you're pro-black for everything. Like you're for the advancement of the race, you're for businesses, you're for everything black. So it's kind of hard for me to understand how someone can be pro-black and want so much for the black culture and the black race, and then they're in a relationship with someone that doesn't represent that.
So are you saying that?
Well, just grow up and get over it.
On attraction to someone from another race.
Personally, I'm not pro-black, but in my mindset, like I'm saying, if you're pro-black, you wouldn't find someone that's not black attractive to you.
It sounds like a personal issue.
How as a black person are you not pro-black?
I don't know.
That's a very... Do people not understand what pro-black is, or...
I don't know. Why don't you define that for us?
I mean, pro-black is not white supremacy. I'll put that off the rip.
You mean it's not black supremacy?
Yeah. It's being pro-black is to understand that as black people, we are in a variety of disadvantaged situations and face both social pressures that are linked to our blackness, but also like greater societal and governmental pressures that are linked to our race, and just understanding that we need to be conscious of these things, be there for each other, be better for each other, try to be moral in our lives, because it leads to some degradation of our people, which is part of why we're in the condition we are, absent of the years and years of oppression that constantly have derailed us. But being pro-black is just being cognizant of these things and understanding that we're gonna have to fight the battlefield, that isn't at home inside of our community, but we also have to fight the ones in
Marshawn, let me ask you something. During that whole little rant right there, did you breathe? Did you breathe?
A pro-black man doesn't need to breathe.
You made me pull my mic. I didn't hear you breathe. I'm like, dang, this nigga gonna breathe. I know he's black, but he's human too. He gotta breathe.
I'm dead. It's all lung capacity here. But yeah, I think that pro black is just being cognizant and aware of the issues we face and actually trying to address them in our lives. I don't think you have to be an outright activist. I just think it's just moving forward with just an understanding of our situation and what we need to do to collectively change our situation.
I agree.
So yeah,
What that
that's
was? What you doing? Some Def Jam poetry? You got to, you know. Boy, you so funny, man.
I know.
You are, man. You funny.
Are you have you seen the bottom ticker?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you're not looking at it
Oh
right
yeah,
now?
yeah. To be aware of the lizard people.
Yeah.
All right now.
But I'm about to change it back. But yeah, we can get back to the video.
Okay, I'm
Also,
watching.
if you've made it this far, we really appreciate your viewership, giving you some time. If you just skipped through and made it this far, it don't matter. Go to the Patreon, like the Facebook page, subscribe, like this video. You're catching us on day 4, catch us on day 1,000. So, but in this short interlude, we'll just get back to the put money in the Patreon.
Not saying attractive, but you wouldn't even want to cross that line and even engage in a relationship with them. You can have like lust, like, hey, she's an attractive white woman, but ideally you want black kids, you want black family, you want your lineage to carry on.
I don't know. I feel like the question
Oh, nigga, please, nigga.
low key negates the demographics of the country. I mean, black folks make up 13% of the country roughly, and a lot of the time we live.
We are undercounted because we face so much like societal exclusion that we don't fill out census. Black people generally are always living in a weird living scenario. Not always, but there's a humongous number of us living in weird living scenarios. We're not counted appropriately. Homelessness. And then anytime you do like sociological research on the black community, you have to face that we've been disproportionately targeted for like prison. So we're not as counted as accurately as we should be. That's how I'm saying.
In concentrations. So, you know what I'm saying? If you in Iowa, it's gonna be a little tough to find you like a black woman, especially somebody that might identify as pro-black with you. So I think it depends on what you do, not who you decide to be with.
My first thought response to that is like, what's the point of looking at people differently? It's like we get upset that people do it to us in generally, like looking at black people in general.
See this goes back to the gay thing. We feared he might be a problem. This guy is the problem. Now we all know some guy like
No,
this
he's
guy.
not. It's not a
We all
problem.
know some guy like this guy.
I mean, he hasn't even finished his statement on how he's a problem.
We all
Judging them and stereotyping them and making assumptions about them. It's like, so on the flip side, why should we be doing that to other people regardless of who they're in a relationship with?
That's a good point. That's a good point, brother.
I'm not gonna lie, I do. Like I look at people differently
My
based
brother.
on who they marry. Because dating, you can date for fun. I feel like I look at people different based on who they marry. Like Jordan Peele, Childish Gambino. I feel like I can look at them and be like, I'm not looking down on them. I don't think of them negatively, but I'm like, oh, I see. And like, oh, okay, I see. Like, because like black men that date white women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like oh, okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I can see that. I can't think of another example.
See,
I feel like I can tell, like, okay, like that's cool. I'm happy you happy. It's no disrespect to them, but I see the difference.
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner.
I'm gonna shut the hell up on this one too.
No, I need to hear your opinion on it.
Go.
Is it light skin for you?
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner.
I don't play them colorism games over here.
All right. So the reason why subconsciously for me, the reason why I feel that way is, growing up, I was always, bullied for my skin color. I always felt out of place. I was always told I'm not black enough. And when you constantly hear that and you get beat down with that, and, you you doubt yourself. And like I said, I grew up in a broken home. I grew up in a foster care system, so I never. It took me a long time to figure out myself. And for a lot of times, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I used to
This guy is the most dangerous guy in the whole video. I knew it.
hate the way I looked. I was like, I don't like being dark skinned. I want to be light. Now I'm just being honest, but now I'm more comfortable with myself.
I guess I have a question. Do you think it's because you look at a potential partner as lighter skinned so that your potential children or so would be lighter skinned so they don't have to go through what you feel like you went through?
Nah, at the end of the day, for me, I'll marry whoever I seem fit. So it really doesn't to me matter about the skin color, but I will admit subconsciously I do think, when I see a light skinned woman, I actually, look a little longer or I might linger a little longer or be a little more interested just because of that consciousness that I had growing up. So it's not something that I say that dark skinned women are far unsuperior or light skinned women are more superior. It's just because of the constant beat down and the constant the way I was raised that subconsciously I do think that way.
Do you feel like you have some sort of like self hatred because of that?
Yeah, well, not anymore because it took me a long time. I mean, this started happening, like I said, when I was 6, when I got in foster care. So, but now I'm more comfortable with looking at myself. I'm a good looking, tall glass of chocolate milk. So, you know,
I have a question. Like, do you at all feel like you've become the person that bullied you by then having this preference toward lighter skinned people as opposed to someone that would look like you?
I will admit, yes, I will admit that. And, like I said, we just shooting a, shooting a realism. So I do agree with that. Yeah. And I think that's why realize that prejudice needs to go. They want a black woman, they want good complexion, light skin, like go in between the white family and the black family. And I think I don't even speak openly about it because I know there's a lot of people who feel that way too, but they don't want to admit to it or they don't want to express it and be rejected. So I mean you see it in the media too. So I think that plays a big part in that too.
I currently
What are your thoughts on that?
I just like women.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I think for me, I don't know. Like I'll say I have a preference towards lighter skinned women, but it's not into any detraction to darker
Why?
skinned women.
Why do you have a
Um,
preference for light skin?
I think it pretty much just goes back to exactly what that dude was talking about. Like he hit it like right on the head. Is I also my mother's a lighter skinned woman. That weird shit and shit like that. But honestly, I mean, I
Okay.
guess,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
but I don't know. I say I like all women of all shades and varieties, for real, for
I
real.
like I like all women.
Um, Generally, I will say that I do have a preference. I think it's all right to have a preference. I mean, you like what you like, you find what you attractive is attractive. You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess that doesn't mean anything because for the most part, I've majority in my whole life dated darker skinned women or women you'd consider to be darker skinned. So I guess it doesn't fucking really mean anything. I like all women.
Marshawn, I think what you mean to say in a roundabout way, you use a lot of words to say it. But basically, you're not down for cause. It's dark skin or it's no skin. All right.
Okay.
So,
Still, probably I don't know. I don't know what
so
the fuck
you've
going
shown
on.
yourself to be a traitor. I expect your black guy card to be turned in no later than tomorrow morning.
It'll be in the mail with a bomb.
we go to therapy. 3, 2, 1, go.
Me and my girlfriend's my therapist, but she don't like that. So I'm thinking about going fairly soon just to
I
sort
just
some
I just want to point this out,
things that
and this has nothing to do with race, but just more of a PSA thing. if you're treating your significant other as some sort of therapist, stop. And if you feel that your significant other is treating you as a therapist, tell them to stop. Your significant other isn't qualified enough to be a therapist and will probably tell you something that's like completely wrong or unhelpful. And it's just it's putting a different level of emotional weight that is unhealthy for any relationship.
Everything's cool up front, but everyone has like something that's just like digging at them somewhat internally that may hinder them in some sort of way. And I feel like if you have that type of feeling, like you should go.
Yeah, therapy can be going to the beach or like going out to eat or doing something that relaxes you. So
Physical therapy. Going to
Hold on. we have to be able to draw a line.
you know what I'm saying? It's open to interpretation. I'm here because I took it as like sitting in front of a therapist.
I think this guy's whole life is open to interpretation.
Other avenues to relieve stress.
I am fucking
Like,
dead.
you can't mix up self-care with therapy. It's two different things. Yeah. I've been in therapy for quite some time, personal therapy, just for myself, just issues that I have internally that I speak with someone with on a professional level. I recommend therapy. Therapy is literally the best thing. For me, I find therapy in my faith, and I know there are a lot of people who they look at
Wise guy.
but I think in recent years, the church has been
some reason it makes you feel like you're less of a man because when we talk about therapy,
I like his answer.
it's like, really? You going to therapy? But when you think about it, that's why a lot of people have anger issues. That's why a lot of people have anger issues because they grow up a certain way or they face a lot of challenges and they don't know how to express it. So the first thing they do is they take it out on you or their girlfriend or their mom, and they don't have someone or outlet to express it. So I think we need to normalize going to therapy and not pushing it off as a white thing. We need it. We need healing, and we need somebody to talk to us.
I think healing trauma.
It took a black Super Saiyan to tell us this. He's at least Super Saiyan 2 going to Super Saiyan 3 to let us know the truth.
You help black
I thought you said he was most dangerous.
trauma piling on top of each other, and
Wouldn't a Super Saiyan be the most dangerous?
in a lot of ways, that does come into an aspect of personal responsibility because it's like my issues with my dad at a certain point has nothing to do with him anymore. At a certain point, it has to do with me and how I process it, and I have to go for him. Do I want to get angry every time I'm in the same room as him, or do I want to be able to walk in the same room as him and not have that reaction? And that was what I processed in my head when I was going through that therapy.
This last one, we're gonna have an interesting conversation about. I already know. What are your thoughts on the whole therapy thing?
I think a lot of people should go to therapy.
Same. I do agree that you can find things that are therapeutic that aren't traditionally you just sitting down with a therapist. I think if you can find, I think therapy is great if you know what I mean. If you do not have helpful practices and you do not have a helpful way of thinking or going through anything or really rewiring and tuning up yourself mentally, therapy is like I don't think there's anything weird with it. And I think that I don't know. I think black people we're just so private, and I think a lot of that comes from that slave shit of most slave revolts were stopped by slaves because they went and told the masters, and that breeds. You ever hear about countries where
So maybe they needed to be private. Maybe those slaves needed to be private instead of telling the slave master.
Yeah. You ever hear so some of the most quiet cultures you'll notice, like cultures that are very private to themselves, they've gone through an extensive period of like repression or like secret police. Like any people who've dealt with like a brutal regime of some kind will generally become more private because there becomes a culture of like everybody telling on each other. There's spies, there's secret people who work against you. Like you see it in a lot of different Asian cultures coming out of colonialism and in the different like little dictators that popped up there. You see it with the community that's been like internally traumatized by outside forces. But I do agree that I don't agree that there's a difference between self-care and therapy because you can you can do things that help you work out how you're thinking, or gives you the comfortability to unwork your issues. You know what I mean?
And that's
Like
part of
there's
why we go to a therapist, because they know how to do that. If you know it in yourself, if you know what to do yourself, or if somebody tells you, then don't necessarily think that you would have to go to a therapist. But a lot of
Yeah.
us don't have that information. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. A lot of us can, definitely, definitely.
I think if anything from taken from this clip is that black people, they definitely do need therapy more than any other group, probably speaking on like a whole level. Uh, I don't know why it's weird to go to therapy, but even on a greater level, black people, we're still coming into terms with going to the doctor with regularity. So you
Yeah,
know what I
because
mean?
those are luxuries we have not always had, and we've built up this idea that we don't need that. We'll just survive, and we have survived.
Yeah,
And we've somewhat even thrived without that. So it just seems redundant to do it.
I
But
agree.
it's not necessarily true though.
Oh, I thought you had. I guess I have more open ended thoughts than you do.
You got more rants.
Listen, Stephanos, go to your white wife.
My father was present in my life. Three, two, one, go.
Not to jump into this one, like I absolutely love my dad. I'm even getting a little emotional thinking about my dad. My dad's amazing. My dad was there for me in every way, shape, or form, every facet, every way that he could be
I hate him so much.
there for me and more. He was there for me. He was there to pick me up from school. He was there at my soccer games, my track meets. He was my coach for soccer one year. My dad taught me everything that I know almost. He is who I model my personality after. He is who I aspire to be. I don't think I could have had a better father. It's almost why I'm discouraged to have kids, because I feel the pressure to live up to the example that he set for me. So he was
Mm,
there, still is.
I said someone
I
disagree.
like that.
I ended up being put in foster care when I was 6 years old with a couple of my younger brothers, and I remember. I don't remember what my dad looks like, but I do remember he passed away when I was around 7 or 8. So I can't really fault him for that. But my mom, she was widowed, so she lost a husband, and she decided to take care of us. And I don't think my life would be any different. I don't regret not having a dad, but sometimes I do wonder, secretly, what life would have been like if I had that fatherly figure in my life. And I think that's another stereotype that, black men don't have their fathers in their life. And it's good to see, a lot of y'all over there.
For me, my dad was not as present as he could have been. He's a typical older Belizean dude. Their culture is just very different from American culture. It's very passive aggressive. I remember times being young and I would question my mom all the time, like, "Hey, like, why is he not around? Why is he not there?" And she did the best she could as a single mother. Now I can say my dad is very present in my life. However, I feel like our relationship is very like financial based, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I don't have a real connection with my father. Like he's there for me if I need something, like if I need to like if I want this, if I want that, like he's always there for me, like money wise. But I feel like I'm still like desiring for that real connection, like how you mentioned how you have that mental connection with your father. Like I feel like I don't have that. So that kind of puts a desire into me to where I'm desperate now to be a father. Not desperate, but I'm desperate to be a father that I want to do it right and give the things and make sure that I nurture my kid more than just the money aspect of things. Like I want to be there, and always possible. I kind of feel like now I kind of just suppress it and try to ignore it because he's here now, which I definitely feel like I shouldn't do.
I think that it's never too late to mend a relationship. It's never too late to rewrite the story. I mean, you can't go back in time and change anything, but you can definitely mend the relationship. Because although I have a good relationship with my father, relationships are constant maintenance and their work. And I know that parents can be toxic too. They can break your heart more than anyone else can. I'm not saying that your dad did, But maybe you should start today. Give him a call, invite him out for a coffee. Start somewhere.
Father's Day coming up, dog.
And that is officially a wrap.
Hey!
And we got you guys some merch. Oh yeah.
I hope this don't mean they with they with Spectrum like Charter, and these niggas gonna demonetize us because I'm gonna be so upset if that's true. Like I'm gonna be pretty upset, man. I'm gonna be pretty mad about about that one. But what's your take on that one?
The place that a father has in his children's lives is irreplaceable, and it goes beyond financial. If you have a good man in the home, you benefit just from seeing the way he moves throughout life. And I think a lot of us don't have that benefit of seeing the way a man, or even the way a good man, is able to move throughout life, and just having that example. It's extremely important. Extremely. So
Maybe it's kind of just where we're from that it's super common. But also, I don't know. Black populations are weird and shit. Like in most places in the country, I don't know. For me, not having a father in my life, it kind of, I wouldn't say it fucked me up. It made me weird a little bit because I'm kind of like freehanding this whole man thing. Also, I disagree with what that dude said about you should reach out to him because honestly, he's your father, so he should reach out to you if he feels like there's a relationship there. Like your and I'm not saying you shouldn't talk to your parents about a problem or reach out to them, but on this thing, like I feel like your father's job, part of his job as a parent, it doesn't end when he turn 18, and part of that is making sure that you have a strong connection with your son. So I think that I don't know. I think it's a little bit more on his dad to be the one that's reaching out if there isn't a certain type of connection.
it should be, but ultimately, despite how we may feel, if you want that relationship, then there's nothing wrong with you reaching out,
Also, that
breaking
dude
that
was like
ice.
28 or something, so maybe it's too late.
I don't know, maybe it is. But anyway, that's how I feel about it. So, that's what I think.
What are your thoughts on do all black men think the same?
We don't. Even if
Yeah,
we have the same, even if we have similar experiences, we don't.
yeah. Which I kind of wonder if these little things that they're doing are a little bit repugnant, a little bit race baiting, a little bit. I think a better. I mean, they do seem to have one that's do all men think the same, which I think is a little bit fairer. But I do understand that the black experiences, you know, a black man's experience and everybody else's
Well,
experience.
that's what everybody's interested in nowadays, race. So
I think it's ultimately a good thing that everybody's interested in race now because I don't think we ever really unworked our racial issues. We just they became like the elephant in the room that we just ignore. But there's still all of these different little microaggressions, assumptions, stereotypes, and systematic shit that we've never.
microaggressions. Can we unpack that word? When did you pick that up into your vocabulary? When you saw it on CNN or something?
I guess a few years ago.
Micro freaking aggressions.
I think it is an act of an aggression to rob a
What
person
the
of their
hell does that even mean? A microaggression? Why is it called a microaggression?
because it's not as overt as you saying, black men
So
are bad.
it's passive aggressive, basically.
Yeah, and it's something that somebody they would consider it to be small. Do you play 2K, Steven? You know, or you talking about you play on your PS5 all the time. You're probably playing 2K all the time. You know what I mean? It's something that's small for somebody to say, but very much still insulting or aggressive to make that assumption.
So what do you
So
think
to
is
make
the
it
answer
an
to that?
assumption, these conversations, what we're doing right now, where we're like, obviously we don't think the same. Obviously, I mean, on most of these, me and you had different views on shit. So I think just having these conversations, like actively, like we need to talk about race until we get tired of it, to the point where we finally just realize, damn, we all really human, and we all should be treated accordingly.
Well, we can talk about race, or we can live our lives and look and see that Jerry's got to eat just like I do. Just because I'm black doesn't mean I don't like Starbucks. And white boy Rick over there likes fried chicken and watermelon too.
But then we also have to talk about that Jerry got to eat just like I do, but Jerry has a higher likelihood of getting a job. And then we also got to talk
Sure.
about why there's no Starbucks in the hood, which disproportionately affects black people, even though other people live in the hood. You get what I mean? Like you get into weird little things where the racism shows through socioeconomic shit. So
Right, but if we just talk about it all day and don't do anything about it all day. If I like Starbucks just like right boy Rick over there likes Starbucks, then maybe I need to try and open up a Starbucks. Maybe you know, acting is always going to be more beneficial than talking.
I feel you. So I think that, but what I'm saying is, I think that both are very poignant. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even now, I think that more than the legislation that like MLK and Malcolm X were able to get passed in part through their actions, it was the conversations that they started.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
I think
it was more them being willing to go out there on the forefront and do.
Yeah.
I think that's what set them apart.
But I would also say that, like, in this day and age, oh God, I kicked over the camera. I mean, I kicked over my light again. Shit. Okay, well, this is the end of the episode anyway. Fuck it. This is us unfiltered. But I think that, like, in this day and age, instead of us going out on a soapbox and conversating with people, this is the best way for us to reach the largest amount of people and cultivate the conversation with the largest amount of people.
Okay.
And I do think that there's so much power in conversation. I very much believe in it, because you have to. I mean, we saw this after Reconstruction when the slaves were free, and basically the white people were told, well, you just got to accept this now. They started being terrorists, and on a major scale, more organized than the mafia. So there is a lot to be said about, you have to spend time changing hearts and minds.
I guess we just need to figure out what's the most effective way of doing that.
Sure. Getting educated, going to school, getting trades, just we have to lessen the social exclusion, and then we have to stop feeding into unhelpful stereotypes, and even the good stereotypes. We have to be honest with ourselves. You know what I mean?
So what's a good stereotype that black people have?
I guess the dick thing. That's what I would. I guess so on that one. That's about the only one I can think of. We're good at sports. That's also because we were like bred for labor and shit. So I mean, yeah, that's fucked up. But I guess what are your closing thoughts?
We got a lot of work as people. We got a lot of work as a community. We don't all think the same. That's part of the reason why we don't have the unity that we should now, because we don't think the same.
Mm.
We thought the same and acted in the same way, we would have a lot more unity. So I think it's good to have these conversations.
Yeah. And I would also bring this up on the tail end of it, is like he did kind of touch on the conservativeness of black people. And I think that we are running into a lot of issues now where I think that people feel like you got to think like them to be accepted in their social group. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, we talk proper, so to a lot of people, we would not be considered to be socially black or black enough. You know what I mean? There's this weird thing where I think that we don't need to think the same. We have to just get better at accepting different points of view. I mean, even inside of the religion thing, the people who gave me the most hell about being an atheist were black. It's very like you gotta think this way.
Yeah.
So I think on two sides we have to lessen the pressure on ourselves to think the same, and also like tell, because even I call them. I'm gonna finish this with this, but you ever had that black president moment where people or somebody of another group will ask you, why do black people do this? You know, and it's like, I don't know. I'm not that person. I'm not the black ambassador. I'm not the black. I don't speak for all black people. Ask
Is
that
that
nigga.
why you say? Is that why you say black president? Because they see you. Oh, you're a black guy, and that's a black guy, so you must automatically know how that black guy over there thinks.
Yeah. So, and that within itself is a microaggression because you're assuming that we're all the same. That we could, that you know what I mean. With humans, every human is different. You feel me? So it's a little bit of you only get that repetition with an object. You feel me? A chair is a chair. It's got 3 legs. You know what I mean? Not 3 legs. That chair gonna fuck you up. 4 legs. But yeah. You good? You getting sleepy? We can wrap it up here. This has been episode 4. I think this is a pretty good episode to do, and I think Jubilee does do race baiting shit, but I think it's ultimately good for the conversation. So maybe Jubilee gets a pass. Maybe not though. Probably not. But yeah, this has been day 4. Catch us on day 1000. Stephanos, lead us out with the beat.
I like that. Lead us out with the beat. What you mean? I ain't got no beat. You gotta could y'all put some money in that Patreon so we don't have to be poor niggas for the rest of our lives?
Like, subscribe.
If you wanna support the black cause, then support 2 black people.
Like and subscribe. We're gonna try to come at y'all with some heat at least on Fridays or Saturdays. It's more of an or than both, maybe both at some point. But we're trying to scale things up. Catch us at day 1000. We out of here.
So you're gonna